Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the issues related to geography and IR section from the 29th of March to the 4th of April period. Let's see which all issues we have today. In geography we have the Suez Canal crisis. So I think we have discussed about this crisis in the previous video. You can just go and watch that video if you want some clarity. In that we have discussed the economic importance of Suez Canal, the history of Suez Canal, the background and the role of the Suez Canal in uh, the role of the Britishers in the Suez Canal. So we have discussed all that in the previous videos. Then we will talk about this particular island, the Ghora Mara Island, which was recently in news. Then in the international relations issues, we have the following topics. That is the meeting of the Permanent Indus Commission. Here we will see the importance of the Indus River and the treaty, Indus Treaty. That will we will share some light on the Indus Treaty and how it has been successful in irrespective of the bad and the difficult times between India and Pakistan. Then 50 years of Bangladesh independence, there is an article on that. We will discuss this, the background and all these things. And the Heart of Asia conference, then we will share some light on the Afghanistan crisis and why Afghanistan is important for India, what are the things that can be done. ठीक है. So let's start this discussion. In the geography portion, we have the first topic as the Suez Canal. So as I have already told you, we have discussed this in the previous video. You can just go and watch that. That will clear you a lot of doubts. Now coming to the next topic. So this we have already discussed the Suez Canal ki history. We have discussed it. Then we have discussed that the Suez Canal Company was formed in 58, and we have discussed that Britain and France were the main players in which held the most of the shares. So we have discussed this, and then the nationalization of the Suez Canal in 1956. It was done by Abdel Nasser, and then ultimately we have discussed the Arab-Israeli War of 1973, in which the canal was a focal point. So all this we have discussed in the previous video. The economic importance of the Suez Canal is also discussed. You can just have a look at the previous video, and you will cover all these topics. Now the Ghoramara Island. So recently the cyclone Amphan hit this island, and there was a lot of devastations, and the residents of this island is also facing impact of climate change. Why? Because of the rise in the sea level. This island is undergoing submergence, so it is being eroded continuously by the increasing sea level, and it is being submerged in the sea. So the residents of this island are forced to shift to other areas. So this is a live example of how climate change and global warming can impact the lives of the people. Now the location of this island is 150 kilometers south of Kolkata, where the Hooghly River meets the Bay of Bengal. It lies near the Sagar Island. The Sagar Island is a famous island in and it is one of the biggest island of the Sundarban archipelago. ठीक है. Sagar Island also hosts an annual event of Ganga Sagar pilgrimage, Ganga Sagar Mela, that is also called as Mela, and it is also called as pilgrimage. Now, the threats which are faced by such kind of islands in India, especially, are that erosion due to sea level rise. For example, the Loha Chara in the Sagar block is a neighboring island that has totally vanished due to the rising sea level. So, this is a clear-cut examples of how islands also can disappear by the increasing sea levels. Now coming to the international relations issues, the first is the meeting of the Permanent Indus Commission. So let us understand the topic in detail. Recently, the annual meeting of the Permanent Indus Commission, comprising of the Indus Commissioners of India and Pakistan, was held in New Delhi. And under the provision of the Indus Water Treaty, which was signed in 1960, the two commissioners are required to meet at least once every year, alternatively in India and Pakistan. Now, what are the highlights of the meeting? The discussions continued on the two Indian projects, namely the Pakaldul and the Lower Kalani. So, India is building the Pakaldul hydroelectric project of 1000 megawatt on the river Marusudar. Marusudar. Remember this name Marusudar because this can be asked in the prelims. This is a tributary of the Chenab River. This is also important. ठीक है, and the project is located in the Kishtwar district of the Jammu and Kashmir. The second project, that is the Lower Kalani hydroelectric project, is a small project of 48 megawatt only, and it is being developed on the Chenab river in the Doda district of the Jammu and Kashmir. Now Pakistan raised objections to the designs of these plants, and India said that these designs are fully compliant with the provisions of the Indus Water Treaty, and India also provided the technical data in support of its position. Now, other important points regarding the meeting is that both the commissioners reaffirmed their cordial commitment to interact more frequently. And this meeting was not held in 2020 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the 115th meeting was held in Pakistan in Lahore. ठीक है. So, what is the significance of this meeting? As we have seen that the last meeting was held in 2018. So, this meeting was held after a gap of more than 2.5 years. So, therefore, this shows that Indus Water Treaty is still very significant and it is still functioning. And it even after the Pulwama attack and the Balakot airstrike and the scrapping of the Article 370, even after all these things, all the bad things, the meeting is still happening. So it means that Indus Water Treaty is very important, very strong, and it is still significantly important for both the countries. In 2019, after Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated in union territories of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, after this point, India cleared many hydroelectric projects in the region. For example, the Darbuk Sheok, the Nimu Chiling, the Shanko, the Ratannag, the Rangdo, which are in Leh, and then the Mangdum Sangra, the Kargil Hunderman, and the Tamasha, which are in Kargil. So even after this, all these things which have happened, this meeting was seen as a positive step. After both the countries agreed to strictly observe all the agreements on the 2003 ceasefire along the LOC and other sectors in February 21. So this was also the first joint statement by the Indian and the Pakistani militaries in over 8 years. So therefore, this is also important. And the meeting also coincided with the National Day of Pakistan. The National Day of Pakistan. So this is also important. Which day is considered to be the National Day of Pakistan? That is 23rd of March. So why is this the National Day of Pakistan? Because on this day, in the Lahore Resolution held on 23rd of March 1940, the Muslim leaders asked for a separate homeland for the Muslims. The Muslim leaders asked for a separate homeland for Muslims. Therefore, this day is considered to be the National Day of Pakistan. Now, a few things about the Lahore session. That it was held on 23rd of March 1940, and here the A.K. Fazul Haq, the Chief Minister of Bengal, moved the resolution which is known as the Lahore Resolution. Now, what is the resolution? The resolution asked the All India Muslim League, reiterated that the scheme of federation embodied in the Government of India Act 1935 was unacceptable, that the Government of India Act provided the idea of the federation, and Muslim League said that it was unacceptable. Then the Muslim League also demanded that they want that the northwest and the eastern zones in which there is Muslim majority, these areas should be demarcated and grouped to constitute an independent states, in which the constituent unit shall be autonomous and sovereign. Basically, they asked for a separate homeland for the Muslims and independent states of the northwestern and eastern zones where there was Muslim majority. Okay. And also they also asked that there will be adequate and effective safeguards in the constitution to provide the various rights for the Muslims. So they also asked for constitutional safeguards, they also asked for different homelands, and they also said that the federation system of federation is not acceptable to the Muslim leagues. Now coming to the Indus Water Treaty, it was signed in 1960 between the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and the former Pakistani President of Ayub Khan, and it sets out the mechanism for cooperation and information exchange between the two countries regarding the use of the rivers. According to the provision of this treaty, the water of the eastern rivers, that is, eastern rivers are Satluj, Beas, and Ravi, this water is allocated to India for unrestricted use. There is no restriction. And as far as the western rivers are concerned, that is the Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, the water is largely allocated to Pakistan. Okay, so this is the broad definition that eastern rivers belong to India, western rivers belong to Pakistan. Now coming to the nitty-gritties, that under this treaty, India has been given the right to generate hydroelectricity, through run of the river project. This is important. Run of the river project. India cannot store water. India can only build hydroelectric power for run of the river project on the western rivers. So even western rivers which are given to Pakistan, on that India can build run of the river projects without storing any water. And India can also use 20% of the water for irrigation, power generation and transport purposes. ठीक है, so without storing any water, India can use 20% water for irrigation, power generation, etc. And it can also build run of the river hydroelectric projects. And the treaty also gives Pakistan the right to raise the concerns on the design of Indian hydroelectric projects on the western rivers. ठीक है, Pakistan can also raise the concern, and Pakistan has been using this provision a lot. Uh, this treaty was brokered by the World Bank. This is also important, and it is one of the most durable agreements between the India and the Pakistan. It has survived several wars and disruptions in the bilateral relations over the decades. The Permanent Indus Commission was set up under this treaty with the following functions: that it has to study and report on any problem relating to the development of the river waters. It has to solve the water sharing disputes. It has to arrange technical visits to the project site, and it also has to undertake a tour or inspection of the rivers in every 5 years. So every 5 years it has to undertake a tour or an inspection of the rivers. Now there are some concerns also with this treaty. All is not that well. According to this treaty, there is the most important concern is that it is difficult to interpret. So interpretation and implementation is a challenge. How? Because the treaty is highly technical in nature, which leads to far-ranging divergences between the two countries in terms of interpretation. So both the countries can interpret the treaty in any other any manner they want. Okay, so therefore there is a concern regarding that. For example, the treaty says that storage systems can be built, but to a limited extent. However, technical details make it difficult to conclude under what circumstances the project can be carried out. So there are certain exceptions under which the storage systems can India can build storage systems, but these exceptions are not clear. ठीक है, so this creates a problem when interpreting the two when interpreted by the two sides. Another concern is that the political relation between Pakistan and India is not that good, so therefore this is also a challenge. And from India says that the treaty prevents India from building any storage system on the western rivers. So India's concern is that the treaty does not allow India general consent for the storage for building storage systems. So this is a concern raised by India. There are certain exceptional circumstances under which India can build storage, but determining these circumstances is not that easy. Now Pakistan always tries to bring the Indian projects under certain kind of debate. So it is always keeping a watch on the Indian projects, and it is always uh, dragging India into disputes. And when the another concern is that these rivers, the western rivers, especially lie in the disputed area of Jammu and Kashmir, and a lot of this area is already under the POK. That is, a lot of this area is under the POK. So therefore, implementing this treaty is also a challenge from the Indian and the Pakistani side. Okay. So now coming to the 50 years of Bangladesh independence, the next topic. Recently, Prime Minister of India visited Bangladesh for the celebration of 50 years of the War of Liberation, and also for the Mujib Borsho, the birth centenary of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. ठीक है. So, two sides, the India and Bangladesh, exchanged 5 MOUs, and these MOUs were in the areas of connectivity, commerce, information technology, and sports. What were the highlights of the meeting? The two sides signed 5 MOUs that we have already discussed, and the MOUs are disaster management, cooperation in between National Cadet Corps of Bangladesh and National Cadet Corps of India, establishment of framework of cooperation in the area of trade and remedial measures, supply of information and communication technology equipments, and establishments of sports facilities in the Rajshahi College field and surrounding areas. ठीक है. Now there were some joint inaugurations. The joint inaugurations, uh, several projects were inaugurated jointly, and it included 3 new border hearts on India-Bangladesh borders. and it included a passenger train, that is the Mitali Express, connected Dhaka and New Jalpaiguri. This is the third passenger train after Maitri Express and Bandhan Express running between the two countries. ठीक है, so this is also important. Now, released India-Bangladesh friendship stamps. Stamps were released on the 50th anniversary, and other areas, basically other projects, foundation stone were laid for other projects such as Bangladesh, Ashuganj in memory of 1971 martyred of Indian soldiers, extended development work at Rabindra Bhavan, Kuthi Bari. ठीक है, तो all these projects foundation stones were laid. There are some other areas of mutual interest between India and Pakistan, and as you can easily guess, these areas are common to both the countries. For example, terrorism, the fight against terrorism, the resolution of the Teesta water sharing agreement. This is also concern between the two countries. Then, basically, the sharing of the six common rivers. There are, apart from Teesta, there are other rivers which are shared between both the countries. So how the water in the from these rivers will be shared, this is also concerned. For example, these rivers. So it can be asked in the prelims ki which of the following rivers is shared between India and Bangladesh. So one or two options can be from among these rivers. Other options can be which are those rivers which are not shared. So these rivers are important from the prelims perspective. India also requested for early finalization of the sharing of the water of the Feni river. ठीक है, now the places visited by the Prime Minister of India, they can become important. For example, the Jeshwareshwari temple, which was dedicated to Lord Kali, and it is one of the 51 Shakti Peeths. So you can read all about this. This is factual information. Which all places were visited by the Prime Minister of India. Just go through these information. Just pause the video and just go through. Basically, you have to just keep this in the memory that okay, these are the important places which were visited by the Prime Minister of India. Now, a few things about the India-Bangladesh relations. The relationship started when Bangladesh was born, and Bangladesh was born in the Liberation War of 1971, in which India played a major role because Indian forces went into Bangladesh and helped Bangladesh achieve its independence. ठीक है. During the war, US and China supported Pakistan. US China supported Pakistan and were opposed to India's assistance to the East Pakistan. So this is also important. India took a stand against the major powers at that time, and India had the support of USSR. India was one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh. ठीक है, तो this gives a historical perspective between India and Bangladesh and their relationship. Apart from that, there are security and border management issues. For example, General level talks is there between the Border Security Force of India and the border guards of Bangladesh. There is regular border coordination between the two countries. ठीक है, तो India and Bangladesh share a very long border, approximately 4,000 kilometers. 4,000 kilometers. India, the border is shared between India and Bangladesh. So border security, border cooperation becomes very important. Apart from this, there is defense cooperation in which there is high level exchange, including the second edition of the India Bangladesh Corpet. ठीक है, India Bangladesh Corpet Bangu Sagar. ठीक है, तो दिस इज एन एक्सरसाइज. इट कैन यू कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द प्रीलिम्स में ये क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं कि बंगो सागर is related to what? Bango Sagar is an exercise between India and Bangladesh. ठीक है, high level exchange at the level of the service of the chief Indian and various joint exercises. For example, exercise Sampriti, exercise Milan. These are the exercises between the two countries. So these are important from the prelims point of view. ठीक है, then connectivity is also a big issue between the two countries. Basically, we want to have more connectivity with Bangladesh. Why? Because Bangladesh can be the gateway to the Northeast India. ठीक है, in India, for example, this is the Northeast India, and here is the Bangladesh. So Bangladesh can be the link between India and the Northeast, because till now we have only the Siliguri corridor through which the goods and the connection is through the northeast region. But what happens if Siliguri corridor is compromised? So India must have an alternative route. So therefore, we are indulging in a lot of discussions with Bangladesh so that we can have good connectivity across the country to the northeast part of the world, northeast part of India. So this is also an important aspect. Then there is a good connectivity between both the countries. For example, the Dhaka Siliguri Gangtok Dhaka bus service is also there. Economic and commercial relations are also there. For example, Bangladesh is India's biggest trade partner in South Asia, and India is the second biggest trade partner of Bangladesh. ठीक है, तो now both the countries are good in certain things. For example, the labor is very cheap in Bangladesh, so the textile industry in Bangladesh is booming, है ना? But India also has a textile industry, so they can be competitors as well as, and they can be cooperators in some field. So competition and cooperation, both the things are important. Both the things exist in India and Bangladesh. Now, development partnership. So Bangladesh is the biggest development partner of India today. So Bangladesh has 3 lines of credit. India has extended 3 lines of credit to Bangladesh. So India gives a lot of assistance to Bangladesh in terms of their investment, in terms of, for example, Bangladesh is also importing 1160 megawatt of power from India. So therefore you can see that how much cooperation is there between India and Bangladesh in different fields. So as our neighborhood first policy goes, so we should focus on the our immediate neighborhood, and Bangladesh is one of the closest neighbor of India. If we have good relationship with Bangladesh, we can have access to our northeast regions, we can have good security in that area, we can have good water management in that area, and we can also strengthen other platforms, for example SARC, for example other platforms like BIMSTEC, etc. So cooperation can be good for both the countries. Then there is the capacity building and human resource development, that India has been giving training to Bangladesh civil service officers. So Bangladesh civil service, this is also there, and the officers are given training in India. Bangladesh is an important Indian technical and economic cooperation partner, ITEC partner. Okay, cultural cooperation is there, the Indira Gandhi Cultural Center. So there are a lot of cooperation in both the countries in different fields. Especially during the time of COVID, we provided a lot of medical assistance, including surgical mask and HCQ medicine to Bangladesh. So India has been conducting the various online training modules to train the health professionals of Bangladesh, and India gifted Covishield also to Bangladesh. So we are also providing vaccines. So basically, these are the important areas of concern, cooperation, but there are also some areas of concern also. That there is the National Register of Citizens (NRC), which India is planning to do, and the Citizenship Amendment Act. So this has created some kind of problems between the two countries, because there is a lot of migrants issue, and the political parties on both the sides, they also politicize the issues. Okay. Now the river agreements, for example, Teesta River Agreement was almost final, but it got failed. It got disrupted because the politics of that area. For example, the West Bengal government, the Indian government, and the Bangladesh government, they were all in the negotiation for the Teesta agreement, but this agreement was not successful because of political mismatch and pending upgradation of the Ganga Padma Barrage project. ठीक है, delays in the implementation of the Bangladesh BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal. So this is a agreement in which the trucks can, or vehicles, basically vehicles, can go to all the countries without any restrictions. So the commercial trucks, the passenger vehicles, etc., they can go to these countries without any restrictions. So this can boost the trade in all the in these countries, but this is still a pending issue. Now, what can be the way forward? The way forward is to complete the agreements as soon as possible, and to develop a long-term joint strategy that will facilitate national identification and generate a system of work permits for legitimate movement of labor. So movement of labor is a real issue that has to be accepted. A lot of people from Bangladesh move to India in search of jobs. So instead of terming them as illegal immigrants, we can grant some kind of work permit so that they can work, stay in India, work for some time, and then go back to their own country. So we should accept the problem first, and then we should find certain solutions. We must also balance our geopolitical realities. For example, the China is also trying to get into this region, and it is also trying to give a lot of money to the countries in order to get a foothold in this area. So we need, Bangladesh and India both need to realize that what is best in the long term for the two countries, and we need to have a deeper understanding on both the sides for regarding the sensitivities in the India Bangladesh relationship. Now coming to the last topic, that is the Heart of Asia Conference, Afghanistan crisis. So recently, our external affairs minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, attended the ninth ministerial conference of Heart of Asia Istanbul process. So it is called as Heart of Asia because it is related to Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is considered to be the heart of Asia. ठीक है. And it is called as Istanbul process because it is an initiative of Afghanistan and Turkey. So both these two countries have initiated this, so therefore it is called as Istanbul process. It was launched in 2011, and there are 14 participating countries in the heart of Asia, 16 supporting countries. Then Director General of Regional Cooperation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Afghanistan is the de facto secretariat. So basically, the idea of the Heart of Asia conference is to reaffirm the commitment to the principles which are enshrined in the Declaration for Promoting Peace, Security and Prosperity of Afghanistan. ठीक है, तो basically the idea is to promote the peace and prosperity of the Afghanistan, and basically it is reaffirming the cooperation and solidarity between the two countries. So this is the main focus of this Heart of Asia conference. Now, the ninth ministerial conference, what were the major outcomes? The major outcomes were that all the players agreed that there should be peace, political stability, and security cooperations between the nations so that Afghanistan can remain stable and Afghanistan can be peaceful. ठीक है. Then combating terrorism is one thing which all agreed upon. ठीक है. Then after that, then drug menace is a huge challenge because as you know that in the vicinity of the India there is the Golden Triangle and Golden Crescent. These two areas are the hub of drugs and drug supplies. So drugs are grown in this area and then they are transferred through India to different parts of the world. So therefore, drug issue is a great challenge in the Afghanistan also. ठीक है. Then we should promote de-radicalization of the youth in these countries. There should be economic cooperation for the development of Afghanistan. For example, the international north-south transport corridor, the Chahabar port, and the air freight corridor, etc. All these projects are aimed solely at one thing, that is the development of Afghanistan. If Afghanistan develops, then youth will find job in that area. There will be economic development. India will also benefit, the neighboring countries will also benefit, and the region can be peaceful and stable. Then there is the regional and international organizations in which the cooperation can be done. For example, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SAARC, and all the regional organizations. Now, confidence building measures should be done that to ensure that there is confidence between the countries which are participating in the Heart of Asia conference. So for that, there has to be certain exchanges in terms of line of credit, in terms of developmental work, in terms of social activities. ठीक है. Then India's points in the what India mentioned. India wants that there should be a stable and peaceful Afghanistan, which should be sovereign. Basically, Afghanistan should rule itself. There should be no third party which is governing Afghanistan. Afghanistan should govern itself. It should be stable and it should be peaceful. ठीक है. And India in this topic, in this discussion, asked for a double peace. Double peace. This is a new concept which is given by India. So what is the meaning of double peace? Double peace. It means that the peace is important within Afghanistan and outside Afghanistan, around Afghanistan. So basically, there is a hint. There is a hint towards. Can you guess? There is a hint towards Pakistan. So they are asking. The India is asking or proposing that for peace to remain in this area, there should be peace in Afghanistan and outside Afghanistan, in around Afghanistan. For example, Pakistan. So Pakistan also should stop the support of terrorism. It should also move towards peaceful processes. Now India said that it will keep on working to improve Afghanistan connectivity with the world. For example, Chabar project in India, in Iran. Okay, so it will improve the connectivity of Afghanistan with the Indian Ocean. Then there is a dedicated air freight corridor. Okay, now there is a background to the Afghanistan crisis. So basically the crisis started in 1978 when the communist government was established in Afghanistan. So basically this crisis is a child of the Cold War. During Cold War, both USA and Russia, they wanted to have a strong foothold in Afghanistan, and for that they funded, supported, and motivated different sides to fight on their behalf. And in the middle of all this, Taliban was born. Taliban was born. Ultimately, people say that Taliban was supported by the USA in order to fight the Russia. So whatever be the case, that was during the Cold War. But after the Cold War got over, the Taliban and the terrorist activities still remained. ठीक है, and this led to the instability in that area. The Afghanistan politically elected government of Afghanistan is not strong enough in order to fight off or in order to maintain control over this huge region. ठीक है, so therefore the Taliban has steadily expanded its reach since the US and NATO formally concluded their combat mission recently, and after that US forces came and tried to stabilize this area, but even now, after so many years, they are now thinking of withdrawing back. So there is a huge concern that the US forces which are present in that area, when they withdraw back to their own areas, and so this area, that is the Afghanistan, will be left in a lawless condition, as the local government is not strong enough in order to fight off Taliban. So there is a huge concern that what will be the process of maintaining peace once the US forces withdraws. So all these things, है ना, all these things are pointing towards one thing only. Recently, the US also included India in the peace process of Afghanistan. The US said that India is a very major important player in the peace process of Afghanistan. So this is another opportunity for India to become a world leader and to show that it is capable of maintaining peace and stability in the region. Now, this is some background about India-Afghanistan linkages. So, India-Afghanistan linkages are cultural in nature because they are historical in nature, and we have a shared cultural values and commonalities. There are a lot of Indian diaspora in the Afghanistan, and the importance of Afghanistan for India. Afghanistan is important for economic cooperation because Afghanistan is home to a large amount of resources which are worth of $1 trillion. So Afghanistan has a huge natural resources, and if India has a good relationship with Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is peaceful, then we can use those resources for our own purposes. Then there are various infrastructure projects which are underway. For example, the Tapi pipeline, the International North-South Transport Corridor, which depend crucially on the stability of Afghanistan. If Afghanistan is not stable, then these projects cannot be successful. ठीक है, this Tapi pipeline is the Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India pipeline. So it will come from Turkmenistan, pass through Afghanistan, then Pakistan, then India. ठीक है, so importance of Afghanistan cannot be understated, because if Afghanistan is not stable, then this pipeline cannot last long. For security purposes also, a stable government is very crucial in Afghanistan, because if Afghanistan is not stable, then terrorism can develop in that area, and the terrorism will ultimately affect India also. Afghanistan is also the central is the gateway to the Central Asia. Basically, if you want to go to Central Asia, for example, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, etc., so Afghanistan can be the gateway. So for that purpose also, it is also very important. Recently, India cooperated with Iran also for the development of Chabahar port, which can provide Afghanistan a way to the Indian Ocean. And India established a direct air freight corridor to provide Afghanistan access to the markets of India. Okay. Basically, Afghanistan is landlocked. So around Afghanistan there are different countries, and Afghanistan has no access to the sea. So therefore, it is not able to trade effectively with the rest of the world. So this is why India is building Chabahar port and Dilaram Jaranj highway in order to boost the connectivity of Afghanistan. Similarly, the International North-South Transport Corridor is a 7,200 km long corridor which passes through India, Iran, Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Russia, Central Asia, and Europe. For defense also, Afghanistan is important because the Afghan National Defense and Security Forces, they are fighting terrorism, and India is also fighting terrorism. So we want that Afghanistan should remain peaceful but strong also, so that it can fight terrorism in its territory. India delivered MI. India also gave MI 24 we attack helicopters to Afghanistan. ठीक है. Trade is also growing between both the countries. Then there is cultural relations. ठीक है. Trade between India and Afghanistan has crossed 1.5 billion mark. Culturally, Afghanistan is also important because it has connections with the Persia and Central Asia, and India historically has been connected with the Persia and Central Asia through the Mughals. ठीक है. So conclusion is that Afghanistan is very important for India, and stability and peace in Afghanistan is of utmost priority. So ultimately, all the countries in the region, including the major powers, for example USA, Russia, है ना, and even India, they should try for establishing peace and stability in the region. ठीक है. India needs to enhance its current assistance to Afghanistan, and India needs to take a tough decision to address the growing threat in Afghanistan while keeping in mind its own strategic interest. So this is all for today. I hope you have learned a lot. If you liked the video, please share it with your friends so that they also get to learn something. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.